Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Character is more important than looks, money, and status. Character. A man's character. And it's not even so much about trying to attract a woman with that character. It's so much about you having that character. And it's more than just your personality, but it's your willpower. It's your resilience. It's your sovereignty. It's all of those things. Because I'm going to tell you what, you get a lot of guys, they say, well, you got to have looks. Okay, that's cool. But what happens when those looks fade? I don't care who you are, how handsome you are, whatever. When you are young, you're not going to look the same way as you do 40 years from there. So the way you look at 20 is not going to be the same way you look at 66. It's not going to change. Your looks are going to change somewhat. Now, you might be able to maintain something if you have some really great genetics and everything, but it's more difficult to do so. It's more difficult. Like it or not, you can probably put on some weight. Like it or not, you could probably lose some weight. Like it or not, things could happen. You're going to get scratches, whatever. So many things could happen, you know? You might have to shave your head totally bald because of the bald spots coming. Whatever, you're going to change. Aging is inevitable. Now, some people try to bother somebody who's older, but if you want to live, it's going to happen. But during all that, you still want to get a woman. So you got to go beyond that. And indeed, if a woman, even if you get a woman with your looks, once she gets used to them, all of a sudden you're going to need more. That's where character comes in. That's where your personality comes in. And even with money and status. Now with money, here's the reality. The average millionaire will go broke or bankrupt 3 times. Let me say that again. They will lose money. You got billionaires who will lose several billions. Yeah, they can afford it, but they still losing money. So imagine like a more regular person. How many men have been on some job, some career, some business, they making good money, but there were some changes, all of a sudden they not making as much. See, the money comes and goes. So if you're trying to rely on money to get women, what happens, and you might get some, there's plenty of acculturated prostitutes out there, sex traders out there. Hey, there's plenty. What happens when you don't have that money anymore? What happens if you don't have that money? Now, here's the thing. A man with character will always have money because he's always going to work. Now, he might have more at one point than at another, but if you got character, you just going to keep going. You're going to keep going. You know, that financial setback is not going to hurt you. There's been many men who they would lose that money, that job. Shoot, they've committed suicide or they destroyed their lives. I remember a guy, this racist dude, I was about to get in, me and him about to go to blows. He would ride this bus, the same bus I would ride home when I was working in the government back in the day. And there was a couple times we were about to get into a fight until another bus driver said, nah, you know what, he was doing all right, but then he lost his job, started drinking and all of that. I was like, okay, I won't go to his jaws fast. But here's the thing. If he had the character, he would have just bounced back from it. See, and even status, let's just be real. Status comes and goes. Status comes and goes. How many celebrities who were big stars and everything, all of a sudden you can't find them in a movie, TV show, anything. How many beautiful women, beautiful celebrity women, all of a sudden they not stars anymore and they looking terrible. How many men have been no big star making money? Pro athletes, entertainers, all of a sudden they working on some like 9-to-5 job. They don't have that status. Status can come and go. We live in a society now, it's about the flavor of the day. You can have all that status you could have it for a couple years. Then something happens and all of a sudden you don't have it. You can't rely on those things. But the thing that can be permanent with you is your character. Your character. And indeed, of course, there's plenty of women who don't look at a man's character. They don't look at the big picture. You don't need them anyway. You don't need them. If you deal with a woman, she only concerned how you looking at that moment. oh, it's going to change. You pretty much, if you rely on that, you're going to lose her, or she's going to move on when you don't look as good, or you put on a little bit of weight, or you were muscular, but for some reason you can't work out for a while. You're going to lose that woman. Or if the money flow isn't the same way. Plenty of guys have lost that. Shoot, plenty of guys. Or the status. All of a sudden, you're not that big man on campus anymore. All right, you lose all of that. Shoot, I've personally known some women, they say they stopped dealing with the guy because they weren't the big man on campus. Literally. From college women to, women, they in careers or something. They might have been dealing with a partner at a law firm or something. All of a sudden there's a shift and all of a sudden they're out of that job. They don't want to deal with the man anymore. But character. First of all, you want a woman who's looking at character. First of all, you want that. Because that's the only thing that you're going to keep, no matter what. That's the only thing. Your looks are going to change. Your money is going to go up and down. And your status, that's with the wind these days. that shouldn't even be looked at, really. And it's going to change. But your character that's always going to at least keep yourself up. Your character where, you know what, yeah, you just got laid off a job, or your business had a major failure, and that's not even through your efforts. One of your major suppliers that you're doing business with, they could go out of business. On my money channel, I talk about my income streams. There was one site that I was making good money from. All of a sudden, they gave me about 6 weeks, and they said, oh, we're shutting down operations. Like, oh my goodness. And I said, man, what if this was my major income? Because there was a young lady who actually introduced me to that site, and shoot, she was making 5 figures with the site. And they decided to shut down. That was affecting her greatly. So, but she has the character, the woman has the character to do some other things. What if you're a man in that situation? You gotta have the character to move on to something else, to keep it going. And like I say, status goes in and out. Status is flavor of the day. I wouldn't even focus on that, Yeah, you got that blue check mark or something even on social media, but how many people have reached a high level on social media and then they don't go any further? They top off. But your character keeps you going. Your character. And like I said, you got some women out there not looking at character, leave them alone. You want that woman who's going to appreciate your character, because that's the only thing permanent. That's the only thing you got. It's your ideas. It's your willpower. It's your sovereignty. It's your ability to go through bad times. Because if you're on the path to success, you're going to go through a bad time. It's all of those things. So it's more important than that. Yeah, it's great. Those other things are pretty good. But you want to have the base of everything, which is your spirit, your mind, your character. And I'm going to say this for a third time. If you meet a woman who's not interested in your character, leave her alone. She doesn't deserve you. So focus on building your character. Everything else comes into place. All right? That's all I have for right now. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.